Collective. Welcome to the channel. It is September 14th, 2025. I've got some cards out here on the table. I'm going to go ahead and get you caught up to what we have present here thus far. We have a Ten of Swords, painful ending, a collapse, a defeat. It was prophesied. These folks who have been committing problems in the world knew that this was happening. This was going to happen. There was a potentiality of it, and they were trying desperately to keep you from telling the truth about religion or your experience with a religious person. We've got the Hierophant here and disconnect. There could be a Hierophant being disconnected, or this could be the Most High God disconnecting some folks from the religious facility, or atmosphere. In the recent past, we've got 10 of Wands, stress, overloaded. There's a lot of attention being brought to what kind of burden perhaps you were carrying. And then we've got Judgment in the reverse, intentions, expectations, punishment, destruction. Because there is an awareness of the truth. In the near future, we've got Knight of Wands. So, passionate, sexy wand coming in. The lens that's being looked through is a Page of Wands. In the environment, we have the Nine of Cups. A wish come true. Hopes and fears, the Four of Wands. Freedom and marriage within a community. There could be a reunion or a celebration here. And we've got strength. So you're very strong. There could be some kind of a challenge. You'll need to use your courage for something. Let's look at it. So we've got punishment here. Somebody ignored the call. They got wound up in this passion project. This abusive, intimate program with the snake. So Knight of Wands is here, fearless, sexy, passionate, impulsive, charming. Page of Wands. Excitement, freedom. Ready to start something new. Chicken. You're free. Your limitless potential has somebody afraid. Somebody's afraid of your limitless potential. You've got the Nine of Cups here, a wish come true and perfection. So perfection is motivation. Try harder. Don't disappoint. Do more. Don't make mistakes. crazy standards. You've got this Nine of Cups, life of luxury, because you're very, very serious about the work you do. You're not playing games. You're taking this very, very seriously. The Four of Wands. So your intention or your hope is to have a community of harmony. Academic. People who are aware, who have learned about this. We've got strength here, who are strong. People who are strong and compassionate toward themselves and others. Hospitality. So you're being congratulated on your strength and on your courage. You got some folks out there that aren't happy. An explorer wanted to fight with you and still does because they want to be you. But you survived. And you're coming into an important position here. It's time. You're happy. You're optimistic. Martyr. So somebody may try to martyr you, to be seen as you. They may want to visit you, like astral project or something, but you've got a defense here. And so you're a shining one, and you don't have to do anything. You are defended. You are protected from these kin. Or perhaps this is a new family that's promising to protect you. We've got privileged people, horse playing around. They're addicted to your sovereign position, and they're being watched. This is a whole tribe of actors and actresses. They've been watched in their competition with your love. They've been playing around with those people in the limelight, puppeting them. So any public figure has a puppet master. They're not free to speak. Vain. Vanity. Look. Absent fathers of the innocent. In a previous cycle, there may have been a father figure that martyred you to take your important status, your position, your service. They wanted to appear as you, so they brought conflict to you, and justice is happening here. Justice is going to happen here. That's what I'm getting. There's some kind of a father figure or something that you had received in a past life or something. You had received some sort of status. And it's like your father or your mother was jealous, and so they sacrificed you or martyred you to the snake and then posed as you. And led everybody down a path of lust and brutality for profit, for gain. And they're wearing this attire here as though they're, some sort of righteous person. But that's not that. According to God, that's not that. You know what that is? That's a snake. That's a snake. And it was prophesied that this would come to an ending, a terrible, painful ending. What the heck you guys got going on out there? But you got this passion project, this fella coming in. He's all fearless. He wants your home. So we got a painful ending, a crisis. It was prophesied. Somebody's feeling broken and shattered. The truth is out about this religion. A religious male masculine energy. And the way that they handled commitments, marriages. They taught everybody to be an F-boy or an F-girl, and how to deceive and betray actual love and promises, vows. The Hierophant is disconnecting them for what they have done to family. No more soul tie. They're disconnected from the soul tie. No more soul ties. It's like God is divorcing religion. It's like God is divorcing religion. We've got a heavy burden here. There's a tension that's been brought to the heavy burden that you have carried here. We've got detachment. Attention has been brought to this heavy, heavy burden. We've got punishment for the snake. Destruction for the snake. They want forgiveness. We've got Mr. Sexy over here and home. Reunion. We're going to get more clarity on that. Page of Wands. You've got what? You've got freedom. You're excited. Somebody's afraid of this. Somebody's afraid of your limitless potential. Truth. Somebody's afraid of the truth. You're excited. You're free. You're spilling the beans. You're telling the truth. Somebody's afraid of this truth. You've got a wish come true, a life of luxury, because you don't cut corners. You don't take shortcuts. You're like in it to win it all the way. All the freaking way. Overwhelmed. Somebody's stressed out. You're getting a wish come true. You're getting a community that is harmonious. We've got academics and secrets. Untold. So we've got a community where this academic, this teaching, whatever this teaching is, it's going to be secret. Like you're just going to go and you're going to live with regular old people who aren't out there doing magic on others, who are unsuspecting, trying to screw them out of their decency or their love. So you're very strong, you're very courageous, and we've got hospitality here. You're being congratulated. And somebody, this says, we've got unsatisfied. I wasn't happy with the way things are going. So you weren't happy with the way things are going. You're very strong. You're being congratulated. You were not happy with the way things are going. And look, you've gained an understanding though. So through your trauma, your drama, all of these challenges, you have gained an understanding about why you didn't like the way things were going. What was happening that was making it so bad? Well, you found out by immersing yourself in it. We got people gossiping about this. This was not expected. This was an unexpected outcome. And you've got this, maybe you escaped this passion project, or somebody in this passion energy wants to escape. You never gave up hope for a loyal, faithful union, and somebody has disagreements about this. Unfinished business, they made mistakes running after you. They don't know what to do because you're getting reciprocity. You're getting what you gave. You didn't take shortcuts. You did not agree to some atrocious behavior so that you could get out of the test or something. You loved yourself into health, and you're getting all of that back, all that love in a soul contract, in a soul contract. A wish come true, 4 of Wands. So you've got these ones. They had habitual patterns of messing with people in a responsible union with this third-party reflection, faker, copy and replace, flip and replace, make them so freaking miserable they're suicidal, and then, you know, get rid of them and replace them with your third-party cow. They sabotage themselves. They've been found guilty and unworthy of an inseparable, irreplaceable love. And it's too late for them to take any action toward your dream, because they neglected you and they neglected everybody and everything. It's over. They're very upset. They're tired of you speaking your truth. They're tired of you speaking your truth. They want to send you an altercation, or give you an accident of sorts, or some kind of an attack that will send you to the hospital, because then they can inject you with whatever substances they want, and they can alter your chemical temple makeup. That's their next plan. They want you in the hospital so they can mess around, so they can start injecting you with stuff. They need to hurt you. They're having a painful ending here. It was prophesied. They're feeling broken and shattered about this. They did not get your reward. The truth is out about religion and their commitment. The truth is out about religion and how they handled marriages and unions. These people were marrying people falsely, false contracts, magical agreements, this kind of thing. It was not honest. Family. The truth is out regarding how religion was dealing with commitments and family. Or the truth is out about religion's commitment to family. What they were doing to it. Passion project. They were effing around with this third-party business, getting rich quick by flipping and copycatting the divine feminine. The Most High God is here, or somebody that is a higher knowledge. We've got disconnect, soul tie in the reverse, and we've got commitment in the reverse. There's no commitment. They're not getting a soul tie because they were not committed. There's no commitments here with God. God is disconnecting this person. God is disconnecting this person. You were under a heavy, heavy burden, 10 of Wands burden, and attention has been brought to this. There's a detachment from this snake. These mask wearers. These mask wearers are being detached because they were putting a heavy, heavy burden upon you that was not yours to carry. They were doing this with their religious practices. We've got a punishment for the snake who wants forgiveness. For this third wheel enemy bulb crab. You have no idea the forces that back the Catholic Church, is what an invisible person said. I was like, I wasn't even thinking Catholic Church, because Spirit said that there was a big multi-billion-dollar church out there that wasn't an actual church. It was a pedophile ring. I was not thinking Catholicism. To be quite honest with you, I was thinking Scientology, but then the invisible person came up and got angry with me and was spouting off about these powerful forces that protect them. And I was like, what the hell are you even talking about? I wasn't even thinking it was you. We've got stability. So, yeah. So the snake wants forgiveness for effing around with everybody's life with this third wheel enemy passion project bull crap, taking shortcuts and siphoning the wealth out of true divine beings that they were flipping and copycatting. You're stable, you're okay. But we do have Mr. Passion here, or somebody's inspired to be committed to their purpose. Somebody is committed to their purpose regarding home and reunion. There could be a younger masculine here that has come home to be reunited with you. Maybe this was prophesied. Somebody's protesting. Somebody's protesting. Page of Wands, excitement and freedom, limitless potential, and somebody is afraid of the truth. A Page of Wands has made some sort of discovery. They're afraid of the truth. They fell into a trap. They fell into a damn trap. You've got your Nine of Cups life of luxury coming up. A wish come true. You did not take shortcuts. You did not make any deceitful claims or sign any damn contracts with this snake. You really went for it. You really went for it. It was not a game to you. You suffered. You persevered through this incredible stress, this incredible overwhelm that was draining you. And you did not take shortcuts. You did not make any agreements to get out of the suffering. You actually carried the Ten of Wands burden for a long time that all these mask wearers were putting on you. They were out there being filthy, and they were putting that energy on you, hoping that you would get disconnected and rejected. Robbery. So you got your freedom here, and there's harmony in this community of marriages. We've got the academics. So there's secret knowledge regarding robbery. We've got confinement. Secret knowledge regarding robbery. You're strong here. You're very courageous. You're being congratulated. You weren't happy with the way things were going, and so you went out and you got yourself an understanding. You went out and you collected evidence of what has been going on here. You're a higher vibrational being that was prophesied. You're very calm, and you're bringing a conclusion to this scenario, all of this work that has been done against you, to try to stop your relaxation. They were stressing you out in the mind. They collaborated together trying to get your position. They were bribed. They were bribed to move against sweethearts who actually care about each other and family. So now they're getting rejected and they're experiencing loss because you have gained the perfect understanding and evidence as to what they were doing. These prayer people, somebody's got to get ready to pray, I guess, because they were teaching people how to bully the divine feminine who had a vow with God and her divine counterpart. These people were cursing them with, look at this, danger, death, accidents, all of that. Why? Because they wanted this damn miracle. They wanted this life of luxury, your vitality. And now they're in a damn nightmare, and they want to compromise because the fact that they tried to unalive you. They tried to unalive marriage, the sanctity of marriage. And that was their strategy in order to obtain lives of indulgence and blessing. These prideful people don't know what to do. They're sick. This whole network of people could be sick. They're sick about your promotion. You're scheduled for a promotion. And now they want to apologize because they're losing their sight and they're getting separated out of everybody because you triumphed over their natural disasters that they were sending to your life, and they're frightened by your alliances. You've reached your goals. You're having sweet dreams regarding this conflict. It's conflict. You got saved from the conflict. You're entering into your destiny. And these other ones are being confined. They're losing their freedom for moving again, for overloading you. Somebody who loves yourself, a benign person. You didn't do any witchcraft on them. You didn't know who they were. You didn't come after them with malice. You didn't even compete with them. You weren't jealous of them for their money or their status. It didn't matter to you. You were busy loving yourself. And while you were doing that, they put you in a 10 of Wands, a heavy burden, all of this crap that these copycats were doing. These nasty, nasty shit that these people were doing and putting in your energy. I mean, you may have had a one-night stand with somebody. You may have thought that this person actually loved you. But it was just a third-party hoebag wanting to filthy, defile, and degrade your energy signature so that the Most High God would see you as a prostitute and not as a divine feminine. The more sexual encounters they can have, the more filthy the energy is, and then everybody's a whore, and God has to get rid of everybody. They were trying to dominate your promise of eternal love. You were faithful and loyal. So they're getting cast away. They're getting out of you because you're getting this damn real estate, the partnership that you were dreaming about. And these ones are furious because you got assistance, you got mercy. And all that magic that they were throwing at you, you received mercy. And so now that's back on them. They thought it was a great idea to make you sick and lonely and to disturb you in the past. You are a good, moral human being who loves yourself. You're focused on your life and how you can add value to your soul. And you're not even worried about anybody else. You're sitting here with God, trying to add value to your soul, trying to improve yourself. And you got all these little jackwagons out there wearing masks, being filthy little hoebags, trying to dirty up your energy. They're stubborn. They don't want to hear it, but you've learned everything you need to know, and now God knows too. From your trials, your struggles, and your authentic, transparent admittance of everything that you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the north, the south, the east, the west, the upper, the under, and the center. All that you are, you have exposed all of it to God. And you're like, maybe I'm guilty. Maybe what they're saying is true. I don't know. But it looks like God doesn't happen to feel that way. They lied. They lied badly, trying to rob you with this magic, this forbidden magic on sweet, innocent, benign people that are super powerful in their energy. They did not want you to have a family or birth a child because your child would grow up to be powerful also and then present a challenge for their authority. And they couldn't have that. And if you did have a child, then there could be illness or some other kind of tragedy, you know, instability in the foundation. The father could have left. So there's a painful ending here. It was prophesied. They're feeling broken and shattered about this. They did not get your reward. Their cup is empty. The truth is out about this religion and how they handled the commitments of family. grieving. They brought nothing but grief. The truth is that this religious person or entity or people or conglomeration or whatever, the truth is out about their commitment to family and grieving. They wanted families to grieve. The Hierophant is here. The Most High God is here, disconnecting this group of masculines from their ability to have a soul tie or any commitments. It's like, nope, there's no commitment with you. There's no soul tie with you. You're out of here. This is ending. Whoever these masculines are, it's done. It's done. These religious masculines and what they did, bringing grief and suffering and robbery, trapping these people with these mask-wearing bullshit artists, covering them in a 10 of Wands burden of their own doing. There's punishment here for this snake. There's a whole bunch of third wheel enemies that want forgiveness. You're okay. You're stable. You escaped them. Look, man. This snake there's punishment for the snake. They want your forgiveness. Punishment for the snake. They want your forgiveness because you've escaped. You're stable. You're okay. So they want to bring an altercation of some sorts. I mean, for me, there was a fellow with a hammer earlier today, and but I happened, God was watching out for me. Kind of foiled their plans, but they did get seen. They were witnessed. Their faces and everything. Vehicles, license plates. They weren't expecting me to have something going on, obviously. So we've got a Knight of Wands here and home. So there's a Knight of Wands. Somebody's feeling passionate about you. Or it could be that they're behaving rather unpredictably because you're home. Maybe whoever you're reunited with is home. There's somebody protesting for sure because you didn't lose. You haven't lost anything. So this could be a member of this snake religious passion project stuff who's really upset about your honey being home. I heard this curator saying that he said something. He really disliked the fact that he was here. So this person arrived a few days ago. I didn't research that in my notes to give you the exact date, but he's been here for a few days. He has arrived, and there's some serious stuff happening. There is like your energy and the stars and the suns. Your energy is so big right now, and it's like you all are kind of like united as this sun energy, right? Linked, connected. It's powerful. You're free here, or there's a Page of Wands who is afraid because the truth is out about this trap. This childish person or people have been fallen into a trap, the trap of truth. You're getting a wish come true. You did not take any shortcuts, and somebody is overwhelmed and stressed out because you persevered through their challenges, and now everything that you no longer need is falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. You didn't take any shortcuts. You didn't do any baneful magic. You didn't use any secret academic scholarly knowledge to hurt anybody or steal from anybody or to advance your life. So the hope is you've got your freedom here for happy harmony, a happy harmonious community where the academics, the secret academics, to rob people get tangled up. Maybe these people these academics who were secretly trying to rob you, maybe that's it. Maybe these academics who were secretly trying to rob you of your happy, harmonious future, maybe they're tangled up in this web and they can't get free. These academics who were secretly trying to rob you are tangled up and they can't get free because you have a happy, harmonious community where the marriages are properly aligned. You're very strong here. You're very courageous. You're being congratulated. You were not satisfied with the way things were going, so you delved into it. You went to gather evidence. And now you have an understanding. You've done your research. You got yourself into the middle of the mix. And you found out exactly what they were doing. And you're exhausted. And you deserve a break now. You're exhausted. And you deserve a break. You've been working very, very hard for over a year. And the changes that you have made are unfathomable, really, to the person who doesn't know exactly what you were dealing with. This outrageous, planet-destroying energy that you have been going after every moment of every day for at least June, July, August, September, 15 months. They need to face it. They need to face it. You deserve a break from this, and they're going under. They got to face the truth of it. They did not see this coming. You are aggressive here. You're very courageous in your strength card. They made life very, very hard for you. They kept making your life fall apart, and it could be that this is what's happening to them right now. The dark side needs an exit plan. Somebody in the dark wants an exit plan. They're not telling the whole truth. They're having a bunch of anxiety regarding this long road of just another notch in the headboard shit. Centuries they've been doing this. These weeds, seeds, leaving beautiful, shiny, happy people alone in misery so that they could siphon their wealth out and enjoy it without them. Without them. They would be in grief. They would go get married to an irreplaceable person. Then they would flip them into South Node, destroy their mental and emotional stability, and then copycat them. Sacrifice them and copycat them with some unworthy little twit standing in as the real deal. So I have no compassion for these people. Absolutely no empathy. None. I would never do that. And the fact that these people were doing it to their sisters, man. There's no family. This isn't family. They were, women like to think, at least I think, in my community, that we're sisters. And we would never do that, man. I would never, ever, ever think of hitting on one of their husbands. That would be so stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're not family. They're guilty of making life very, very difficult for you, wearing these stupid masks to make sure that you had a heavy burden that they thought was impossible to bear. They thought that this punishment was going to be yours because they had buried you under so much vile, defiled, degraded filth. This group of snakes that was in charge of freaking families, man. want to connect to the very same love that they brought a struggle and a lack to. And love is eluding them because of the neglect. They crushed you. They burned you. They played games with your love. And they stuck you in this crazy drama, this rabbit hole. And now they want forgiveness because you're leaving. You're leaving. And they were tempted by the snake. They're at a distance. They got to keep their distance because they did not keep any of their promises. And that's what God said. The betrayal was horrendous. He was supposed to protect this. And instead, he worked with this snake to steal the stability of the Divine Mother. They're crumbling. Everything they built on the backs of that energy, of those many, many flames, that love betrayed, sucked into a marriage contract, and then driven into South Node failure and sacrificed so that their doppelganger little hoebag could move into the house and enjoy the reward of this beautiful flame. Not today. Not today. Never again will they ever experience the joy that they have just had. Never again will they get back what belongs to you. Your happiness, your stability, your self-love, your care. What you bring to the table is strength and courage and compassion and kindness and love. And they bring childish entrapment, filth, and robbery. Oh, they're angry, all right. This betrayal was beyond comprehension. They really went there. As far as and as hard as they could go there, they went there. There's no doubt about it. So, there's a painful ending here. It was prophesied. They knew that this was going to happen. Their cup is empty. They're not able to take your reward. They're receiving a denial. They're receiving a denial. The truth is out about this religion and how they handled commitments of families. It didn't work out the way they had imagined. They always brought grieving to it. They're grieving because the truth is out about what they have done to families. And now they want forgiveness again. They're grieving. They want forgiveness. There's no forgiveness in what they did to so many mothers or potential mothers. They didn't want these bright shining people to actually birth children, so they would get them into these unions. They would flip them into South Nodes, sacrifice them, steal everything from them while they were tangled up in this web of freaking neglect and suffering. God is saying, you know what, get out of here. Get out of here. The betrayal is absolutely irreparable. There's no way you could ever compensate for the many beautiful divine mothers, the empresses, the high priestesses that went in to try to birth families of light and love, that possessed gifts of the soul that benefit them and others. So the Hierophant is here disconnecting this religion and this broken and shattered snaky feminine hoebag or whatever. There's no more soul tie with them. There's no more commitment. That is ending. Their commitment, their ability to have a commitment with people who possess gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others, it's ending. They will no longer, what he said was, this is the end of their relationship with batteries, with those bright, beautiful flames of joy and harmony. These temperance angels. They put you in a 10 of Wands burden. Attention has been brought to all these mask wearers, these copycats, these low-life little hoebag Jezebels wearing masks as you. They're being detached. They have been detached. There's punishment here for those sneaky little third wheel enemies. They want forgiveness. Of course they do, but there's no love in them. There's absolutely no love in them. They were just having sex, wearing a mask as you, dressing up in your energy, having orgies, putting that energy back into your field, trying to dress you up as a filthy prostitute. That's what these religious people do to the feminine. They call them prostitutes. They reduce them. And then, of course, they got the one who cries eternally, the sorrowful mother or whatever, because they've been laying all this on her. She's suffering by being in this damn energy. While these mask wearers who don't have any love in them go around screwing everybody and stealing everything that belongs to the family. And they were guided, coached by this person who is loyal to this person. Or maybe they're one and the same. I don't know, but it's sickening. They're out there, oh, I'm so righteous. And it's all in their imagination. So there's punishment for the snake. These third-party hoes want forgiveness. You have escaped their clutches, and you are stable and okay in the mind and in other places. We've got a Knight of Wands here. And home. There could be a Knight of Wands who is home, reunited, and somebody is protesting because you did not lose. Who's this Knight of Wands? Is this the one you're reunited with, or is this a bully wanting your house? This is somebody who does not want to accept that you did not lose. So we've got a Knight of Wands who does not want to accept the things that they cannot change. Who you are reunited with is home. He's here, she's here, you guys are together. These ones are protesting. You did not lose. You didn't lose. They can't accept it. They don't want to accept it. You didn't lose. Page of Wands is here, afraid of the truth being revealed. It has been revealed. They fell into a trap. They're a childish little POS. They're not even a friend. There's no love in them. They're not friendly. They lie about everything. Now they're afraid because the truth is out and they fell into their own damn trap. This page. And it's too bad they threw away their life. You've got a Knight of Wands here. You got a life of luxury coming up to you. You've got a long, long life of luxury coming to you. You did not take any shortcuts. You do things the hard way. You know, that narrow path or whatever that they talk about in the Bible. You know, some people take the white. They go do it the easy way. They F around, they entertain and distract people while they're stealing their happiness and their health and their energy and using it to curse them. Isn't it terrible that the energy is siphoned out of families and then used to curse families? Bloodlines, races of people, nationalities, whole nationalities. They're overwhelmed and stressed out because you persevered through their challenges and you did not take any shortcuts. You truly are strong. Stronger than stronger than they even think themselves to be. They really thought they had effed you up bad and that you would never, ever, 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 ever come back together. They don't know what to do. Everything's falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. We've got a whole community that's happy and harmonious here, where those academics, that knowledge for robbing people, entangling people is going to be a secret. This is going to be a community of people who don't do witchcraft on each other. We're under judgment. So it could be that those people who used secret knowledge to entangle and rob people in the community are under judgment. They're under judgment. You're strong. You've got your strength here. You're being congratulated. You were unsatisfied with the way things were going on. You dove right in and you did your research. First-hand testimony that cannot be denied. You have an understanding here. And you're exhausted. You're exhausted and you deserve a break. Damn, this has been going on a long time. Now, for the last 15 months, it's been a serious battle. But it was that before as well. But they really turned on the heat this last several months. Success. You know that there's no greater goal than the love. So you're tired. You deserve a break now. You are successful. You are successful. You honor the physical body that enshrines your soul. And you got folks out here who want to come up and do damage to your physical body that enshrines your soul. They want you in pain. Their magic didn't work. They said that you won't last a year. So you've got these religious snake third wheel hoebags that have vowed to eliminate you in your 3D experience or your status here within a year. They're having doubt because you're in your purpose. These prideful people are guilty. They've been found guilty of bringing adversity to you from that inner voice, the God within you, and the voice that you trust. And they're afraid because you are here to bring services to the people. They have failed to stop you. You are aligned with the divine, and you're very, very patient. And while this aligns, this is over now. Because you went and gathered information about what they were doing to limitless, abundant beings, robbing them, entangling them in this web of darkness and deceit. They're in regret here. Because your discipline allowed you freedom. You persevered through these challenges very, very strongly. You did not cut corners. You felt the pain, all of it. And you persevered. And so now these ones are in grief because you're an empath. You know exactly what they did. And now God does too, regarding them blaming you for their responsibilities. A grateful, thankful person. And now they're worried here because you're bringing a state of perfect harmony to your world. You've grown in consciousness and awareness, and you did so focusing on the lighter side of life. You are all about relationships that are going to be happy and serve the greater good. These people, man, they're just mean. They're flat out mean. And they laugh. They have such great fun. Today, 5 people targeted me. But I had a witness that they weren't expecting. And it wasn't just the one person in a flesh suit that witnessed them. They had a great time. They were as they were driving by, and then they saw that the deed did not happen, and they rolled up their windows and they're like, oh shit, the deed didn't happen. Yeah, well, what's God going to do now? Well, it looks like God's going to disconnect some folks. They're losing their connection. with happiness and joy, because they want a world of violence. They want a world of violence. So now they're going to get it. He said, if you want a world of violence you shall have. Their intentions shall be their gift. I've been trying to warn people, and yet they do crap like that. Divine Mother said to be prepared. They won't survive. I don't know what's going to happen to those people, but it's not going to be good. Because their intention wasn't good. I try to tell people, man, turn around, turn around. Look, they're not a sweetheart. This isn't the sweetheart. They wanted to be seen as a sweetheart, a seductress, a Jezebel. Ooh, I'm so sexy, I'm so pretty, I smell good, look at me. They're not a sweetheart. They're getting denied. Their cup is empty. They're not taking your reward. They're going through a painful ending right now. The truth is out about religion and what they did to the commitments of family. They're grieving here. They want forgiveness. They're in despair. They're getting disconnected from God. They've been playing the role of a religious man, and they've been fouling the commitments of a mother and father and the children. They've been training them to go out there and act like a whore. They speak the proper words of love and respect, but they've got malice and filthy, lust-filled perversions inside of them. And they lay that crap, this lack of love and these masks, they lay all that burden onto the martyred ones. Getting disconnected from God. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know that God's going to release them to this snake. I think he's just going to feed them to somebody meaner than them. He said they're the new fodder. I can only assume that that's true. Somebody's going to feed on them like they were feeding on the collective. The golden rule makes judgment very simple. It's not based on opinion or perspective. It's just based on your intention and your action coming back to you as the seeds that were planted. Prison. So the mask wearer is going to prison. There's no love in them, and they're getting detached. It's like you're a higher vibrational being who came here to gather evidence about what this snake, religious, whatever, was doing to the commitments and families, because it was obvious that the children were suffering and that these ones were having a great time gathering the wealth. So there's punishment for this snake. These third world enemies want forgiveness. You're stable, you're okay, you have escaped. They cannot affect your mind anymore. Surprise. So there's a surprise here. They're surprised. There could be a surprise fortune. You may get a surprise fortune. Or maybe what the fortune is the knowledge that you were able to pull up out of the water. This humongous 6,000 pound netted malarkey that they were hiding in the water. You know, and when you put heavy weight in the water, it kind of feels as though it's not that heavy. but they're pulling it up and they're finding out there, man, this is a big deal. Of fortune, of secrets have been brought to the surface. So there's a Knight of Wands, Mr. Passion Project. He's protesting the fact that who you're in reunion with is back. They're home. You did not lose. They don't want to accept this. They're very mad. Yeah, they're in misfortune. Everything's falling apart for them. This Passion Project, this little Knight of Wands, he's protesting because your sweetheart is home. Your sweetheart is home. God is home. God is here. Yeah, and he's bringing a misfortune to Mr. Religious Snake and his third-party hoebags. There's a Page of Wands here who is afraid because the truth has been revealed on this trap. This is not a friend. This is a childish, lying crap of a boy offering a service. F-U-C-K-ing, innocent, sweet hearts for gain. This person probably has never had a job. They thought effing their way to the top was the way to do it. We've got a wish come true. You did not take any shortcuts. Somebody's overwhelmed because you persevered in an impossible path. They're falling away to make room for the love that you deserve, and they don't know what to do. Where did that card go? They don't know what to do. They're getting a message. They got a message. They don't know what to do. There's indecision here. So, hope and fear. So within the community here, they were using academic secret knowledge to tangle sweethearts up and rob them. And now this foe is under judgment for what they have done here. And they're all up in their thoughts. You're very strong. You're getting congratulated. You were unsatisfied with the way things were going. And now there's an understanding here. You have gathered a lot of proof, a lot of evidence as to what these foes, these adversaries of family were doing. Under the guise of religion, they were hiding behind religion doing it. This snake. You've got your wings here. You're tired. You deserve a break. You've got your wings. You're successful. You're healthy. Somebody's getting a letter of a widower. There could be a soldier that is sick. And a wife, a young woman wife. So we've got a young woman wife. And there's an old woman who has hope of taking part in this reunion or of bringing some kind of melancholy with some kind of enemy encounter. There's happiness over this gift. There's a servant in the house, or perhaps you are of service and you're getting the... Oh, there's a servant in the house and death. Servant of death in the house. Somebody's been serving up death in the house. And there's lots of conversation regarding love and waiting to go on a journey. Yeah. So we're going places. These ones were saying the other day that you are being, what did they say exactly? Oh, well, I'm looking at the wrong, well, anyway, that's the wrong thing. They said that you were being moved to a new world or something like that. Lifted. That you were led back. They sacrificed you into one of the darkest, eternal suffering places ever, and you were led back. God led you back and ascended you, is moving you into a new world. You are a sweetheart, and you've brought all this evidence of this wrongdoing to the light. Podcast in the reverse. They didn't see this coming. There's a denial. This may not be announced. There's a denial. They may be losing their ability to speak, to announce. This is not a sweetheart. They've been telling lies. This may not be announced. We've got the truth out regarding religion and their dealings with commitments and marriages regarding family. It did not work out the way they had imagined. They are grieving and they want forgiveness. They're in despair. This is a simp who does the most for somebody who cares the least. The Hierophant is here, disconnecting these ones from soul ties, from any kind of commitment. There's no more commitment. There's no more soul tie. They're getting completely disconnected. This is ending. You have gifts of the soul that benefit yourself and others, and they're feral. So they're feral. There's no more commitment with those people who possess gifts of the soul that benefit them and others. These feral people, it's ending. The commitment that you had with them is ending. They can't access your gifts anymore. You won't be serving them anymore. You're not giving them anything anymore. If you do, you're going to wind up in their house. If you choose to be in their house, and I suppose that's the house you're going to be in, but they're not allowed in your house because you're a damn unicorn and they don't get your services anymore. They got to stay in their own lane. They got to stay in their own damn lane. They put you in a 10 of Wands burden. There was at least 7 mask-wearing copycats out there doing third wheel enemy magic on you with this snake to bind you, to rob you. Jackwagon. But you took care of yourself. You took care of yourself. And now attention has been brought to the mask-wearing BS artists who don't have any love in them. They're getting detached. They're in a mental prison or some sort of prison because you took care of yourself. You took care of yourself. Now, they're all upset because they say you need medicine. Well, it's taking care of the vessel that enshrines your soul and your spirit with whatever adaptogens or plant medicines that the mother has provided you. And maybe you do need a pharmaceutical. I don't know. These guys have been doing a lot of, failing organ magic, any kind of, get fat magic, high blood pressure magic, all this kind of crap, So they're laughing. They drove everybody into sickness and they wanted everybody on synthetic medicines because it pollutes the physical vessel that enshrines your soul and it makes it weak and vulnerable. And you chose adaptogens. They tried to say you were an addict, and that's just not true. You were taking care of the vessel that enshrines your soul in the best way that you knew how, and it's difficult to do when every food item and the water and everything else has poison in it. And when you're poisoned, when you're being poisoned every day by the government and the people that tell you that they're concerned about your health, but they put all of these unknown bioengineered toxins into your food, you got to do something to bring a state of homeostasis to your temple. And you did it. You were able to do it. They tried to make it an impossibility, but you did it. Look! Freaking vampire! Vampire freaking snake getting punished. This is a vampire snake, third wheel enemy, a whole group of them wanting forgiveness now. Because you escaped. Because you escaped and you're stable. They're so mad. You brought all this information forward, and now they want revenge on you because you survived and you brought to light the nastiness that they were doing here. So now they want revenge because they got caught, and they're told to stay in their own lane. Stay in your own lane. You're a vampire, you got to stay in your own lane. There's a whole, look, freaking shadow demon. They're loyal to this shadow demon. They're having a misfortune. They don't want to accept this. You did not lose. Your sweetheart is home. And this passion project, Knight of Wands, is protesting. They're so upset because you two came together. The power of two. There's a lot of power couples out there that are shining so freaking bright. And your light is obnoxious to these ones. They want you in South Node suffering because that's the low vibrational energy that they like to feed on. This root chakra stuff, they don't like you in your heart chakra and your throat. They don't want you to love. They don't want you to speak about love. They don't want you to see love. They don't want you to broadcast love. You know, they don't want that. They want you in the root chakra. They want you in fight or flight, lustful energy that is never love, because nobody wants to stay in a partnership. They just want to come and have sex for fun. Childish. And I read that, you know, when you do that, when you're just out there, you know, hopping from one sack to the other, you know, you're with somebody until it gets boring, right? And then you go find somebody else. Well, you never wind up being an adult because you don't ever take on the responsibility of maintaining a household, creating a solid foundation for children, you know, minding your own business without effing around with empaths. You know, they never cared. This person was a childish person that was not a friend of an empath. They fell into a trap. The truth is revealed about what they did. They're not a friend of somebody who cares. Look at all those tears. Those are tears. They made the empath cry. Maybe now they're crying over an empath, this narcissist. They think you're a bitch because you're getting all the money. It's your wealth. And they wanted to unalive you and cause you suffering because they wanted this from you. They wanted to give you this in suffering while they took this in joy from you. Troll. It's a freaking troll. They're all falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. You've got a community here where secret academics were used to entangle people and then rob them. These foes are under judgment. They can't get out of their thoughts. They're thinking about it real hard. They're jealous of your strength. You're getting congratulated. You were unsatisfied with the way this was going. You have an understanding of this. You've brought forward firsthand testimony and lots of proof. You're tired. You're exhausted from dealing with this. You deserve a break from it now. You've got your wings. You are happy, or at least you've got wings of happiness. It's time for you to go be happy because you were successful. You were able to successfully manage your own health in a toxic, poisoned environment. And always, the energy was toxic. The food is toxic. The drinks are toxic. These relationships are toxic. Everything is toxic, meant to cause you failure. While they laughed as the flames were going up, and they say they didn't care. They don't care. They never cared about you. They're jealous of you and your strength and your happiness, your gifts. So they're wearing these masks pretending to be you, but the only thing they can do while they're wearing that mask pretending to be you is to go have an orgy and try to defile the energy. They can't actually be you. They can't match you. They can't match your love. They can't go around and actually be loving. They can't go around and actually sit with the pain and become harmony. Stay in your own lane. Stay in your own damn lane. Stay in your own damn lane. There could be a privileged narcissistic bitch out there creating tinfoil hat conspiracy theories, love bombing and gaslighting people. Oh, I am love, but look at this bitch over here. They're a slandering snake speaking lies. Anybody who's going to go out and slander somebody they've never met or don't even know, they're taking their life personal. It's like, listen to that person speaking over there. I don't like what she's saying. Well, I'm going to drive by her house and hammer her window or do something to her. Whatever. I'm going to make her life hell. Oh, why, man? Just turn off the damn video. Don't watch it if it upsets you so bad. Go do something with your life, man. These people have been snacking on legends, eating the energy of legendary people. This fashion witch is triggered because you're a unicorn influencer. They're calling you a siren. Your song, whatever it is you're saying, it's beautiful. I mean, it's like it's affecting people. And that's because you're the real deal. This is why you're here. God wants your voice to be heard. He doesn't want these people to be heard. He wants you to be heard. And they're very, very angry about it. You know, because they do the very least to gain the very most. And they never really work for it. The only work they ever do is to destroy somebody else. They don't actually earn a benefit. They steal it from somebody who has. You're getting the land back, and these ones are being warned to F off because you're the billionaire starseed. You're the billionaire starseed. You're the special one. You're the unicorn. God wants your voice to be heard, and these religious people, they squashed the voice out of the mothers and replaced them with these people. Dressed them all up, called them a damn princess. There's a cult leader here who could be trauma bonded with an oracle. Maybe that's how they got the intellectual property. By trauma bonding with an oracle, they could tap the mind and receive the messaging and then pretend that it belonged to them. That's how they get their information. They trauma bond with oracles, with psychics, with telepaths. And then they attach themselves to the psyche. Well, once they do that, they can't undo it. And now they're screwed because everything is known. It's like all these oracles, all these prophets and prophetesses that they trauma bonded to, guess who they're linked to now? God. The bridges were mended, and God knows everything that you went through, who did it, when they did it, what they were thinking and feeling when they did it, and how many times they did it. To you and to all the others. And what they did to you is so outrageous that when that comes back alone, it's going to be tremendous. But you weren't the only one they did it to. If they did it to 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, was it just this lifetime? How many lifetimes? Did they do it to the same people every lifetime? Or did they gather a big list of starseeds that they were doing this to? Siphoning the life out of them. Feeding them to this shadow demon. They're in a misfortune. They're having a misfortune. It's not going well. It's not going well. They showed their damn face, man. They showed their damn face. They're reckless. They're reckless. They've got an upside down perspective. They don't like doing things right. They want to take shortcuts, and they want to do it at the expense of those who don't take shortcuts. This religious person or facility was put in charge of guiding families, and instead they fed them to the shadow demon, the snake. They fed on them. They fed on them. A scavenger. Freaking scavenger. Of families. They're being disconnected. There's at least 3 of them being disconnected. There's no more soul tie, no more commitment. It is over. It is ending. Because they are feral, they will no longer be connected to people who possess gifts of the soul that benefit themselves and others. They losing access to all the gifts. For casting illusions, for doing mirror magic on them. They're losing it all. They're never going to get it back. Territory. So we've got self-care and territory. Those people who take care of themselves under the most brutal, impossible challenges are getting the land back. Because you're good, what do they call that? Caretakers. You're good caretakers. You take care of yourself. You take care of your vessel. You take care of your house, your community, wherever you are. At work, you don't fight with people. You don't make trouble. You're getting the land back. The Most High said that the land is going back to the indigenous people. Everybody's been tested, and everybody's going to get exactly what they deserve. It's a routine. It's a routine. So they have proven that this is the routine. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, this is what they've dedicated themselves to. They dedicated themselves to a vampire snake. A shadow demon. They dedicated themselves to scavenge family and feed them to this thing. They never thought that they would get caught. They never thought that you would rise. They thought it was the impossible path and that you would never ever make it out. Community. There could be a whole community of shadow demons that are suffering a misfortune right now. They don't want to accept this, but it's just too bad. It's coming. They're childish, and the truth is out about what they've done. They're afraid here. You've got your freedom. They were trapping empaths and making them cry. Oh, you're an empath? Ooh, I got myself a cookie. Freaking cookie. So you're working together with nature. Mother Nature is here with you. And these ones were screwing over Mother Nature. They don't need no mother. They don't need the mother. They don't need her. They don't need her. They don't like her. They're jealous of her. They want to be her. They don't need her. All they need is the wealth that comes from her. They're a troll, a feral simp, loyal to a shadow demon, and betraying family. They're in grief. They're in grief. You persevered and you didn't take any shortcuts. You took the hard road with all these people on you. Like just these. This is 7. Okay, but you've got this religious person, the snake, the vampire, the shadow demon, the whole freaking community. They're in grief because balance is being restored to the sacred space. So in this community, you've got freedom here within the community, but somebody was using secret knowledge, secret academics to entangle people in a web so that they could rob them of everything that they were, that they had to bring, that God imbued in them to share with the world. They entangled them, trapped them, and sucked it out of them, and then claimed it as their own. They're under judgment. This is a foe. They're in their thoughts. They're jealous of you. They're jealous. And they want to hurt you bad in the 3D now because they can't get you with their magic. They're demons. Heart bond. They're jealous of your heart bond. They're jealous because your honey is home and you have a heart bond. You're actually loving. And they're jealous. Like there's no love in them. Why are they jealous of you? Because there's no love in them. I mean, if they're so jealous of the love in you and this beautiful heart bond that you have within the community here, why don't they just go try to be that? Rather than be all angry and bitter and freaking cruel. Why don't they go try to add value to their own soul without siphoning the value out of yours, collective? This is stupid. You're very strong. You're being congratulated. You've got the evidence that was needed to gain an understanding. You're exhausted from this. You deserve a break. You've got your wings and you're going into a new world. You're successful. You know that there's no greater goal than to love, and you have taken care of the vessel that enshrines your soul. Now, it's taken some hits. It's taken some serious knocks with all this poisoning, all this toxicity within the medicines and the foods and the liquids that have to be drank and eaten to survive. It's all poison. But you did it with medicine, whether it be synthetic or plant medicine or whatever. You did it, and these ones are trying. They're objecting in a big way. They cannot stand the fact. They're saying that you're not natural. Well, I'm sorry, but a toxified poison intentionally made to be sick, physical flesh suit is not natural. They intentionally drive people into depression and high blood pressure and toxicity and all of that. It's crazy. They're anticipating. Nobody wants to hear them. It's an empty house. They're anticipating an empty house. They got to stay in their own lane. They got to stay out of your energy. But they are resisting. There is resistance here. You were the golden nugget that they martyred and then collected into their little jar of happy little nuggets. They left you alone. But you were learning as much as you could about as much as you could. And you had to take a lot of hits in order to gain that knowledge. You're so very strong. You took so much abuse. And you gained firsthand testimony of the ways and the practices that were being applied to hurt you. You took a risk when you came here to plant seeds. These ones were playing around and they were committed to an empty nest. They didn't give a crap about family, about children. They wanted them all gone, especially from the light-bearing people. But now you're protected. Everything that they attempt to do to you is going to roll right off of you. They can't touch you. You're protected. Everything they do is seen, it's witnessed. Their intentions will be their gift. It's a promise. These negative influencers are being warned. They've been warned regarding the mischief that they're trying to bring to your sacred space, your balanced sacred space. They were trying to dominate you. They were feeding on you. The little white mouse, they wanted to come and feed on you, and they did. And now they're getting wrath. They have to go and try to survive God's wrath. Because the anomaly is released, or they are being released out of the anomaly's energy. That little white mouse is no longer a little white mouse. That little white mouse has its wings. And those who are committing trickery are getting displaced, and there's preparations for them to become the new fodder for whatever this is. They were fighting with you, and everything that they did from a distance was observed. It's just the way it is. You've got luck. You're freedom. You've got freedom. You're free. You're free to go. And these ones are afraid because you have grown a lot. And you're in communication. And you've been given a new direction based on the history that you have just completed with these ghosts. These creatures of the night were committing a lot of upheaval using your gifts or stolen gifts. These stolen gifts that they were snacking on. You're flying away. You're leaving all of this distraction from these mimickers behind. They have been exposed. You have completed your mission. You have brought exposure to all of this, and it's time for this to be over. But they really want to have an altercation of sorts. They want to cause something in your life that requires you to go to the hospital, because that's where they can do their little injections and whatever else that they can do. They actually own that. So just be very aware of your environment and trust God. Because like today, when they came for me, God had made an arrangement that made it impossible. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I hope that it brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody.